Yeah, I mean, with respect to AI and robotics, I always approach these things with some trepidation because I certainly do not want to play a hand in anything that could potentially be harmful to humanity. Now, humanoid robots, they're clearly happening. I mean, you look at like Boston Dynamics, the demonstrations are better every year. So there will be humanoid robots. I mean, the rate of advancement of AI is very rapid. Even if Tesla stopped doing AI, I think we're still on a track to develop artificial general intelligence, meaning intelligence smarter than the smartest human. Yeah, I mean, Optimus is a general purpose sort of worker droid. So the initial roles for Optimus would be in work that is repetitive, boring, dangerous, that kind of thing. Basically work that people don't want to do unless they're paid to do it. Humanity has designed the world to interact with a bipedal humanoid with 2 arms and 10 fingers. So if you want to have a robot fit in and be able to do things that humans can do, it must be of roughly the same size and shape and capability. Mass produced, that's the hard part. I don't know, I think we'll have something pretty good at the prototype level this year. And it might be ready for at least a moderate volume production, towards the end of next year. So like what is an economy? People get confused. Sometimes they think an economy is money. Money is a database for exchange of goods and services and for time shifting the exchange of goods and services. Money is a database. Money doesn't have power in and of itself. Like you can run the thought experiment of if you're trapped on a remote island, shipwrecked on an island, and you've got $1 trillion in a Swiss bank account. It's worthless. You'd rather have a can of soup. So, all the Bitcoin in the world, you're still going to starve. So, the actual economy is goods and services. So then, what limits the output of goods and services? That limiter is labor. Even capital is distilled labor. So the limiting factor for the economy is labor. And so if you address the limiting factor for the economy, then it's not clear that an economy in the traditional sense has any meaning anymore, because you have no constraint on goods and services. The only things that will be missing are things that have artificial scarcity. So that where we decide to make it scarce, like a particular piece of art or a particular home in this exact location or something like that, But there will be no shortage of goods and services. For Optimus,
to get the work done.
Optimus will be helpful with respect to dropping birth rates. But I mean, like I said, you have to say, like, if these things continue, then what happens? Humanity dies out? Well, yeah, I mean, Neuralink, in the short term, Neuralink is just about solving, brain injuries and spinal injuries and that kind of thing. So to be clear, for many years, Neuralink's products will just be helpful to someone who has lost the use of their arms and legs, or who has just a traumatic brain injury of some kind. That's what Neuralink will be useful for many years. Mitigation to artificial intelligence, which is that we could effectively merge with artificial intelligence by improving the speed of interaction between our cortex and our tertiary layer, which is already silicon. We're already a sort of a 3-level intelligence creature. The base level is the limbic system, the sort of animal brain or reptile brain, essentially, the sort of fundamental, the animal or reptile brain. And then there's the cortex, which the cortex, by the way, is largely in service to the reptile brain. Yes, we could download the things that we believe make ourselves unique. Now, of course, if you're not in a body anymore, there's definitely going to be some difference there, So But as far as preserving our memories, our personality, if you will, I think we could do that. I'm not sure this is a singularity, meaning like I'm not sure there's a very sharp boundary. I mean, already there's so much compute that we outsource. Our memories are stored in our phones and computers with the pictures and video. Computers and phones amplify our ability to communicate, enabling us to do things that would have been considered magical and had you burned at the stake in maybe 300 years ago. You can have two people to have a video call basically for free from two parts of the world, on opposite sides of the world. It's amazing. So we've already amplified our sort of human brains massively with computers. And I think an interesting ratio to roughly calculate would be the amount of compute that is digital divided by the amount of compute that is biological. And how does that ratio change over time? And with there's so much digital compute happening so fast that ratio is increasing rapidly. I mean, I don't think we should try to have people live for a very long time. It would cause ossification of society, because the truth is, most people don't change their mind; they just die. And so, if they don't die, they will be stuck with old ideas, and society won't advance. I think we already have quite a serious issue with the gerontocracy, where the leaders of so many countries are extremely old. Look, I mean, in the US, it's, very, very ancient leadership. And it's just impossible to stay in touch with the people if you're, if you're like many generations older than them. And the founders in the US, they put minimum ages for political office, but they did not put maximum ages, because they did not expect that people will be living so long, but they should have. Because you really want, in order for a democracy to function well, the leaders must be reasonably in touch with the bulk of the population. And if you're too young or too old, you can't say that you will be in touch. For me, I don't know. I mean, I certainly would like to maintain health for a longer period of time. But I'm not afraid of dying. I think it will come as a relief.